Hi, this is your host, Daniel Gutierrez. I'd like to welcome you to our call with today's guest, Dr. Susan Shumsky. Dr. Susan Shumsky is a best-selling author, spirituality expert, and self-development pioneer, professional speaker, and New Thought minister. For 22 years, she lived in the Himalayas studying with enlightened master Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, founder of the Transcendental Meditation and guru of the Beatles and Deepak Chopra. After receiving a Doctor of Divinity degree from teaching of intuitional metaphysics, Susan began teaching her own unique form of meditation and spiritual healing. Susan is the author of Divine Revelation, as well as other award-winning books. Her latest book, Ascension, was the #1 Amazon bestseller. She has appeared in more than 500 speaking engagements and media venues, including Women's World, GQ, Cosmopolitan, Los Angeles Times, and it has been on nationally syndicated TV and radio programs. Susan is the founder of Divine Revelation, a complete technology for contacting the divine presence and listening to the inner voice that has helped tens of thousands of students worldwide. She now travels extensively, facilitating workshops, seminars, and spiritual retreats and cruises, as well as tours to India, Peru, and other sacred destinations. Today, you will discover how you can take command of your life, how you can reveal your true purpose and begin to live it, that because you create your destiny, you can create a new destiny, how you can use simple, field-proven processes to effect instant transformation, and how to experience instant miraculous healing with the miracle of affirmative prayers. Over the next 60 minutes, you will learn how you can become a master of your destiny and fulfill all your heartfelt desires and goals through the power of affirmation and prayer. The power of affirmation and prayer and how you can use it for instant healing, and an introduction to a simple 9-step method to help you transform your life in powerful and positive ways. Susan, thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the call.
I'm thrilled to be here today, Danielle.
Wow, Susan, could you take 2 or 3 minutes and share what you believe to be the major turning points that allowed you to manifest your current level of success?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I've been in this field for 45 years, and I have to say that in the very beginning, it was sort of like going through the jungle with a machete. In other words, we were really the pioneers of spiritual development way back in the 1960s. And at that time, I was a hippie. It was the 60s. I was living in the San Francisco Bay Area. And at that time, people were starting to awaken to their higher potential. They were starting to realize that there's something else out there, that there is such a thing as meditation, that there is such a thing as yoga, which, believe me, before that time, no one knew anything about really in this country. So we started a kind of a revolution in consciousness, which has grown and grown and grown over the last 50, 60 years. So now we're coming into the forefront of the mainstream. Now we have esoteric books in all of the mainstream bookstores. We have health foods, even organic foods in the normal everyday grocery stores. We have Oprah Winfrey doing a teleseminar with Eckhart Tolle. So in other words, the major media is starting to catch on to this. We have Ancient Aliens on the History Channel. I mean, this is really becoming mainstream. We are starting to pervade the entire population with the idea of spirituality, the idea of raising of consciousness. So it's something that has been a gradual thing, and now it's starting to really explode. I mean, now with the whole 2012 thing and people starting to be concerned about the future and what's going to happen, there's really an uncertainty about the future economically. So people really are forced now to turn within and find answers within themselves. They really have no one to turn to anymore.
Very interesting. I'm really excited about our call today. What is the law of attraction? How does it work?
Okay, well, there was a little movie and a book called The Secret, which came out and talked about something called the law of attraction. Actually, I really have to give credence to the entire New Thought movement, not to that book.
Right.
The New Thought movement, which started in the mid-1800s, is what really brought this whole idea of spiritual laws, including the law of attraction, to the forefront. And that was really founded by such luminaries as Phineas Quimby, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, Ernest Holmes. And these are the founders of such organizations as Unity Church, Religious Science, Science of Mind, Divine Science, and now it's called Centers for Spiritual Living, and even Christian Science. Those are the people who really brought forth the ideas from ancient India, actually, that tell us that we are creating our own destiny through our thoughts, our words, and our deeds. So, in fact, what the law of attraction is really that we are magnetizing to ourselves whatever it is that we believe. And this is not based upon our conscious beliefs. It's based upon our subconscious or deepest beliefs and convictions. In other words, in the Bible, it is stated by Jesus, "It is done unto you according to your belief." That is really what the law of attraction is. It's about the fact that we create our own destiny. Lord Buddha, in the very first chapter of the first verse of the first chapter of the Dhammapada, which is his most important scripture, he states, all that we are is a result of what we have thought. If a person speaks or acts with a pure thought, then happiness follows him. If a person speaks or acts with an impure thought, then unhappiness follows him. So basically what Lord Buddha is stating in this most important verse that he ever wrote, because it is the very first verse of the first chapter, obviously we have to pay attention to that. And what he is saying is that all that we are, not just some of what we are, not just on Tuesdays or on every other Thursday, but all of what we are is the result of what we have thought. And then he goes on to talk about speech and action. He says when a person speaks or acts with a pure thought, or when a person speaks or acts with an impure thought. So what he's stating is that thoughts, words, and deeds are what create our destiny. So the law of attraction just means that we attract to ourselves that which we create by our thoughts, our words, and our deeds. We magnetize to ourselves whatever it is that is our deepest belief. And a lot of people misunderstand that because they think, oh, well, all I have to do is maybe make a laundry list of what I want, or maybe I just have to say it or affirm it or whatever. But it's more than that. You actually have to believe it. You have to have the firm conviction, make the firm decision, and have the firm conviction that what it is that you want does manifest in your life. And when you do that, yes, you do attract it to yourself, undoubtedly, because we create everything by our thoughts, our words, and our deeds.
You know, that is the most thorough explanation I've ever heard, Susan. I appreciate that. I'm sure that a lot of the listeners are going, okay, so finally, a full definition with some scripture and testimonial from other religions. Now, are we really responsible for our lives, or is someone pulling our strings? Do we really have that power?
I know, and also from what I just spoke about what Lord Buddha said, and my experience has been that we are 100% responsible for everything that happens in our lives. In other words, there is nothing that ever happens to us. We only happen to ourselves. So there are no victims. There are only volunteers. And we have volunteered. Everything that has ever happened in our lives has been something that we have created. And mostly those creations have been on a subconscious or unconscious level. Although often we do create things that are fully conscious. You know, we decide, oh, I'm going to go to the grocery store, or I'm going to go apply for a job, or I'm going to go to a event here and maybe I'll meet someone to have a love relationship. We are creating our destiny through our thoughts, our words, and our deeds. So that means that we are 100% responsible for everything that happens. In a way, it's the bad news, because quite often many of those creations are unconscious or subconscious creations. However, it's also the good news, because the fact that we create our destiny means that we can create a better destiny, that we can actually change the course of our life and make it whatever it is that we want to make it. So we have the power to command our life. We have the power to change our destiny and to create something marvelous, something that we really want to envision, something that is more in alignment with who we truly are. And that is what I recommend that people begin to do, to discover what it is that is our true purpose, our true destiny, our true desires, and begin to manifest that.
You know, we've talked about the law of attraction. What is the law of karma?
Oh, okay, that's a great question. So karma is a word that is from India. It's a Sanskrit word, and it means action. That's what the word means. It means action. That's all it means. It does not mean payback. It does not mean punishment. It does not mean reward. It does not mean anything like that. It means action. So what we've been talking about is we've been talking about karma, because we've been talking about creating our destiny through thoughts, words, and deeds. And therefore, we can create the destiny that we want through thoughts, words, and deeds. So we can create actions, and by the way, thoughts and words are also actions as well as deeds. So when you say karma, you're creating your destiny. Now, there is something called the law of karma, and the law of karma states, it is done unto you according to your belief. So the law of karma states that whatever it is that you believe will happen is what is going to happen. So now that sounds crazy. I know that sounds absolutely nuts, because we think, oh, well, I daydream about this and I daydream about that, and yeah, I want this to happen and that to happen, but it doesn't happen. So obviously, Susan, you're out of your mind. What are you saying there? So what I'm saying is, it's not your daydreams. It's not your fantasies. It's your deepest, most heartfelt beliefs. It is your convictions that you are manifesting when you are creating your destiny. Therefore, for example, if you believe in your heart of hearts that you are undeserving to be wealthy, then guess what's going to happen? You will not be wealthy. If you believe in your heart of hearts that you don't deserve to have a love relationship, then guess what? You will not have one. It's really a matter of what your deepest beliefs are. Now, there's another thing. Every thought, every word, and every deed that you create is broadcast from you through vibrational energies. In other words, every word has a vibration, every thought has a vibration, every action has a vibration, and it goes out from your center of being out into the universe. And it does not stop at the edge of your energy field. It does not stop at the edge of your body. It does not stop at the edge of your energy field or your aura or whatever you want to call it. It continues to travel out just like a pebble that is dropped into the center of a pond, which creates ripples that go out to the edge of the pond. And then once it gets to the edge of the pond, the ripples travel back to the center. Similarly, every thought, every word, every deed that you do goes out into the universe, and then it comes back to you as it went out. In other words, if you are stressed out, if you are angry, if you are upset, if you are under very negative emotions, then those emotions go out into the universe and attract back to you negative experiences. If you are smooth and happy and joyous and your life is in a kind of a harmony and equanimity, then those kinds of vibrations will go out from you and will attract to you harmonious, loving, peaceful experiences in your life. If your thoughts, your words, and deeds are chaotic, then you will attract chaos in your life. If your thoughts, words, and deeds are positive, optimistic, success kind of oriented, very, very prosperous kind of ideas and thoughts and emotions and actions, then you'll attract back to yourself success and prosperity. It's really quite simple, and that is the law of attraction. I mean, the law of attraction is really the law of karma. You attract to yourself whatever it is that you put out into the universe.
You know, and here's one I've never heard of, the law of grace.
Okay, now this is something new that I'm introducing today to everyone, and that is the law of grace. The law of grace is the great karmic eraser. So the law of grace overcomes the law of karma. By the way, the law of karma is relentless. There's nothing you can do about it. If you've done something in your past, those effects are going to come back to you no matter what. And I'm not talking about just in this life. I'm talking about in previous lives also. That's why you see young babies and children who are suffering. And the reason you see that is because in their past life, other lifetime, they had certain beliefs that went out into the universe, and now they are reaping those effects of those thoughts, words, and deeds that they did in the past. So there is something, though, that we can call upon. There is hope for all of us because there's something that I call the law of grace. And the law of grace overcomes the law of karma. The law of grace is the great law that states with God all things are possible. So that is the law of grace, which is the law of perfection everywhere now. Now, what do I mean by that? It means that, in fact, we are, within ourselves, divinity. We have inner divinity within us, which is perfection. Every one of us, our higher self is perfect in every possible way. And therefore, we deserve to have a life of joy, of happiness, of fulfillment. We deserve to live our divine purpose and divine destiny. We deserve to live a life that is filled with contentment, with harmony, with joy. And the law of grace can overcome all the past effects of the law of karma. So in other words, if we can call upon the law of grace, if we can call upon our true nature of being, which is filled with grace, which is filled with the light of divinity, then we can be in tune and in touch with our higher nature, with our true self. And our true self is a divine self. And when we get in touch with that, we are invoking the law of grace. We are living the law of grace, which states, with God, all things are possible. So no matter what we have done in the past, no matter how we feel about ourselves, no matter how broken or sad or futile, or no matter what it is that we have been feeling, we can overcome all of that. We can call upon our divine nature and change our destiny. We can take command of the ship of our lives and steer ourselves towards the divine light. We can become all that we can be and live a life worth living, a divine life, a life filled with divine energy. So the law of grace is getting in touch with our true nature, basically, is what it means, and affirming that, living in that, having meditations where we realize the true self, and then we can overcome all.
I really like that. That was beautiful. Now, there are a lot of folks on this call today that are probably in some way, shape, or form touched by our today's economic climate, global climate. How or what does intuition play into this formula, and why is it important?
Intuition. Well, okay, I'm going to state something that sounds a little nuts here. I believe that people are praying backwards.
Wow.
Okay, people are praying backwards. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that all right, so the law of attraction has been popularized, blah, blah, blah. And everybody's writing their laundry list. Okay, I'm going to get this and get this. I'm writing my list. All right, I want this, I want this, I want this. This is what I want, okay? So they make their laundry list, and then they use what they believe to be the law of attraction and attract whatever. So they create these things in their life, and then once they have the things, it's like, really? Did I really want that? I mean, why did I attract that into my life? Now I have the mortgage. Now I have all the problems that are associated with all these things that I asked for, and did I really want them in the first place? So the fact is that people often will manifest things just because they think they want them, and they've never taken the time or energy to find out what is highest wisdom for me to manifest in the first place. So that's why I believe that the number one most important skill that everyone needs at this time, especially at this time, as we move into greater uncertainty in the world scene, greater uncertainty in politics, in economics, in all different areas of life, it seems as though the institutions that we have counted on and we have relied upon, they no longer are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and therefore we're left out hanging on a limb here. What do we do? You know, this is a time, it seems like a great time of turmoil, a time of uncertainty, a time of worry and doubt and fear. And so what are we going to do? How are we going to get ourselves out of this morass? And I believe that the most important skill that everyone needs to know at this time is how to listen to the still small voice within us, that divine voice, the voice of intuition, as you mentioned, intuition, the voice of divine intuition, which will guide us on our pathway, which will show us what the steps are to take, and which will help us to move in the direction that is of highest wisdom for us, that will guide us to our best and highest good and our divine destiny. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, we learn how to listen to that inner voice. We learn how to receive the guidance. And then we just ask, what is highest wisdom for me in this situation? And we ask, what is my true purpose? Why am I here? And then based upon the answers to these questions, then we can make our laundry list. Okay, now that I know what direction I'm going in, all right, here's the laundry list. This is what I want. I want this, 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 and this. And if the house with the mortgage is part of that, great. Yeah, good. If the expensive car is a part of that, yes, definitely. So it really depends upon what is highest wisdom for you, what is what's in your best interest. And no one can tell you. No one else can tell you. You can only know that for yourself by listening within and trusting the still small voice within you.
I like that. So we've talked about the law of attraction, the law of karma, the law of grace, and how we can use intuition to in our lives. What about purpose? How do we discover and fulfill our life's purpose? I think that people in today's world are really lost. They just have lost their way, and they're really wanting to know what their life purpose is.
Okay, I'm going to give your listeners a very special exercise to do right now to help you discover what that is.
All right.
Yeah, what I'd like you all to do, and you don't have to do this right this second. Obviously, you won't have time to do it right this second, but right after this call, what I'd like you to do, and I'd like you to write this down so you'll remember to do it. So get yourself a little piece of paper here, and I'm going to be telling you what to do to discover this. So what you'll be doing is you're going to make a list of the things that you would do in your life if you had unlimited money, unlimited time, unlimited health, unlimited help, In other words, unlimited employees that you didn't even have to pay because you have unlimited wealth, and you have unlimited wealth anyway. Unlimited everything. You have unlimited everything. Okay, so you'll pay your employees because you have unlimited wealth. So you have unlimited everything, and you're going to be able to do anything in the world that you want to do. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to make a list of or describe what it is that you are going to do with your time every day. What are you going to do with your time? Now that you have everything, you have unlimited wealth, unlimited health, unlimited time, what are you going to do? That's what I would like you to write down. Now, I'm not interested in what you're going to buy. Don't write down all the toys you're going to buy, like, oh, I'll buy an airplane, and I'll buy a yacht, and I'll buy a house. I'm not interested in that. I would like you to write down what you're going to do when you get up in the morning, what you're going to do every day. So that's what I'd like you to write. And I'd like you to just think of that as completely unlimited possibilities. So write that after this call. And then when you're done writing it, I'd like you to keep that piece of paper. Because what that piece of paper is about is about discovering your true purpose. It's about discovering what you're doing here and what you could be doing here if you would just have enough faith to do it. Because what that piece of paper is, it's about your true purpose and true destiny. Because the thing that you're going to do when you have unlimited everything is the thing that you should be doing right here and right now. It is your true purpose. It is your true destiny. It is why you came here on earth.
That's awesome. It's not a what am I going to buy, it's what I'm going to do. What's your day's going to look like? Exactly. I like that. Wow, that's a good exercise. I appreciate that. So once we have this list, I know that you speak about affirmations. So how do we correctly use affirmations to attract more abundance into our lives? Now that we know a little bit about our purpose and we have this list of what we would do, now how do we use affirmations to get there? Okay, so as I promised for this teleseminar, I'm going to introduce a very simple 9-step method. It's called scientific prayer, or scientific prayer treatment, or affirmative prayer. It's called by many different names by different people, and it has been around. It's not something that I just, kind of made up in my head. It's something that has been around for a very long time. In fact, it is the structure of the Lord's Prayer, and it is the structure of the Amidah, or the Shemona Esrei, which is in the Jewish religion. And in fact, because Jesus was Jewish, he used the same structure in the Lord's Prayer. And it is a method, the step-by-step method of prayer that is effective, that really works. And millions of people have been using this method for the last 150 years. And in my book, Miracle Prayer, which is part of the offer that I'm offering today, you will learn how to do this. But I'm just going to go through the steps just kind of quickly so that you can get an idea of what it is. And then I'm going to actually be doing some prayers for you today that will demonstrate how it works. So the first step is called the request or goal, and that's where you just state what it is you want to achieve. In other words, you want to change some kind of condition. Perhaps you want to heal a relationship. Perhaps you want to attract the perfect job. Maybe you want to attract the perfect mate. Maybe you want to heal an ailment. Whatever it is, you are going to be stating that. It's called the request or goal. And then the next part is called the recognition or glorification. And in that step, you're going to actually state or list the qualities of divinity or qualities of God, or whatever you want to call it. You might call it God, you might call it Goddess, you might call it the universe, whatever you want to call it, it's fine. But you would state the qualities of God that correspond to your claim or your goal. In other words, if you want to attract money, then you might say God is
the fountainhead of wealth, the fountainhead of prosperity. And then you list some other things about God that go with that. All right, then the next step is called rapport or unification. That's the third step. And in that step, what you're going to do is you're going to state that you are one with or united with divinity. You're united with your true self or your higher self or God. And that step is about unifying with that. So in other words, you might say, I am one with God. That would be that step. And then the next step is called the claim or resolution. And in that step, you're going to become resolved. You're going to state. You're going to claim that thing or something better. So in other words, you're going to claim your perfect job, your perfect mate, your perfect, whatever it is. You're going to claim that. The next step, which is step number 5, is called renewal or healing. In that step, you're going to heal any blockages that have prevented you from getting that goal. So you're going to release negative thoughts and emotions. You're going to release psychic ties and karmic bonds and connections. You're going to affirm that you deserve it, and so on and so on. So that's what we call the healing section. And then the next section is realization or conviction, and that's where you come to the full acceptance or full conviction at that thing that you are desiring, that you deserve that. And then the next one is called gratitude or reward. In that section, you're going to be giving thanks in advance that it is yours now, even though, maybe the car isn't in the driveway yet, but you're giving thanks anyway. You're giving thanks in advance. And then step 8 is where you're going to release it, release or letting go. That's the name of that step. You're going to actually give it up and give it over. You're going to release it and let it go, which, by the way, is the most important step, believe it or not. The release is the most important step, because when you let it go, that's when it's going to happen. And then the last step, or the 9th step, is called repose or silence, where you just go into the silence and you allow. And so when you're done with your prayer, you just go into silence, and that's when the magic really takes place. So those are the 9 steps, 9-step process that I'm just introducing. And, we can do some prayers for people on the call, and you can see how it works.
Yeah, I think you should do that.
How powerful it is. Yeah,
now it's 9 steps. It seems like a long process. Is it long?
That's why the name of this teleseminar is Create Miracles in 5 Minutes or Less. No, it's not long.
It's not long. That's right. So, all right. So, should we go ahead and do that? This create some prayers for folks that
absolutely.
Yeah, so I am sure that there are folks out there probably in today's economic climate that may be interested maybe in abundance of a new job or a new opportunity or something like that.
Absolutely.
Maybe we should do one like that.
Absolutely. All right, so I'd like all the listeners to just get comfortable in your chairs. I'd like you to close your eyes, and I'd like you to take a big, deep breath with me. Breathe in. And let it go. And now take a big deep breath of divine love. Breathe in. And release. And now take a big deep breath of relaxation. Breathe in. And let it go. Big deep breath of inner peace. Breathe in. Release, 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 and be at peace. We now know and recognize that there is one power and one presence at work in the universe and in our lives, God the good, omnipotent. We recognize that God is the source of our good, the light of our life, the truth of our being. God is the all-loving, the all-powerful, the all-embracing, the all-encompassing. God is wholeness and oneness. God is perfection everywhere now. God is perfection here now. God is the abundant source of prosperity, the wish-fulfilling tree. God is the ever-flowing fountainhead of wealth and money. God is the source of all supply. God is the creator of the universe and therefore the creator of everything in this universe, including wealth, and prosperity. God is the cornucopia of all good. We are now one with, merged with, united with, and the same as God. God lives, breathes, moves, and has his being in us, and we live, breathe, move, and have our being in God and through God. We live in the heart of God. We dwell in the house of the Lord. God is with us and within us. In the very center of our being, there God is. And therefore, we are that source of prosperity and abundance. We are that fountainhead of wealth. We are the cornucopia of all good. We are the source of all supply that God is. We are all that God is, for God lives and dwells within us, filling us with prosperity, abundance, and powerful, powerful energy and great wealth. We now therefore claim for each and every person on this call and for everyone who will be listening later to this playback, we claim for every single person here divine abundance, prosperity, wealth, money, flowing freely and circulating beautifully in the life of each and every person on this call. Or better now, we know now that each and every person on this call does enjoy great prosperity and unlimited abundance, that every person attracts to themselves the perfect channel, the perfect means by which they are attracting wealth into their life, whether that be through investments, whether that be through employment, whether that be through entrepreneurial activities, whether that be through business, whatever it is, whether that be through a profession, whether that be through service, every single person on this call is attracting wealth, easily and effortlessly paying any seeming bills or debts, easily and effortlessly filling their bank account with loads and loads of wealth and money and abundance, easily and effortlessly attracting by the magnetic law of attraction great wealth into their lives. We know now that anything that has prevented this abundance is released from the minds of every person on this call, whether it be known or unknown, conscious or unconscious. We release from their minds now any thoughts of poverty, of lack, of limitation, of there not being enough to go around, any and all false beliefs about limits, about that there's only so much and there's only few people who are allowed to have money or abundance, all thoughts of jealousy of people who are wealthy. All these limiting thoughts and emotions are released, dissolved, healed, and let go from the minds of every person on this call, and they are gone. We know now that instead we are filled with beautiful, new, purifying, electrifying, joyous thoughts of contentment, fulfillment, wealth, freedom, joy, abundance, prosperity, forgiveness, wholeness, oneness. We bless those who are wealthy. We are grateful for people who employ other people. We are grateful for the great people who have huge businesses. And we have a positive and optimistic attitude about all those who create wealth in this society, and a positive attitude about ourselves as being someone that can also create wealth not only for ourselves but for others. So we now accept and welcome into our lives abundance and prosperity. We dissolve from our minds the idea of hating money or not thinking that money is spiritual, thinking that money is not spiritual. Any limiting negative thoughts about money are released and erased from our minds now, and they are gone. And we are filled now with new, beautiful, creative thoughts that money is good, money is something we want, that we attract money into our lives. We no longer reject money. We attract money now. We enjoy money. We love money, and money loves us. And money is with us. It sticks to us. that we are money magnets right now, and that we are filled with wealth, prosperity, and abundance, that we are generous, we share with others, that we are charitable, that we help others who are in need, and therefore we're using our money wisely and joyously. So we now accept fully in consciousness that we are wealthy, happy, and joyous, and we are joyously accepting our personal wealth. And we now release this prayer into the spiritual law, knowing that it does demonstrate right here and right now under God's grace in perfect ways. And we thank God that this is so now, and so it is. So when I said, and so it is, I released that prayer into the spiritual law. I released it, and then went into the silence at the end. So that's steps 8 and 9. So I went through all the 9 steps there.
That was a nice process. Yeah, I was following along as you were going through that.
Right.
And let's say for someone who you're so eloquent with your words, do they have to be that eloquent when they do it? Because they may not have the words.
No. It has to do with the emotion more than the words or the eloquence or non-eloquent. It really doesn't matter what words you use so much as the feeling.
Got it.
The feeling, the willingness to let go of the limiting ideas, the willingness to change. That's what we really need. We need the emotion behind it.
I like that.
And it works.
Wow.
It's very powerful. It really works. Everything I do is, I use this method of prayer for everything that I do. Even when I do guided meditation or whatever I'm doing, I always use the same method.
I like it. I like it. Susan, I'm curious about what's possible for people who are listening here today. And can you take a few minutes and share some of the amazing turnarounds you've seen from people who have applied what you teach?
Well, the fact is that this method is nothing new. It's been used by millions of people throughout the world for 150 years. It's not just, first time around the block. It's not something I just made up in my bathtub 2 days ago. This is something that people have been using, that you can call into the Unity Prayer Tower, actually, and ask them to do it for you, or you can call Religious Science or Centers of Spiritual Living, and they'll pray for you with the same exact method that I'm doing right now. And what I'm giving your listeners is an opportunity to learn how to do this for yourselves through the amazing offer that is going to be coming up, is that every one of us has the power to turn around our own lives, of using the power of your word in prayer to change your life. And, in my life and lives of people around me, I see instantaneous results. People have turned their lives around. I actually have a weekly prayer circle that I do every Saturday, and I get continual testimonials from people all the time who they have remissions of illnesses. They have suddenly the very thing that they asked for, it happens very soon after we pray for them. It turns their lives around immediately. People they might meet someone. Maybe they were praying for a perfect mate. They'll meet that person. They're praying for a job. The job will be there. It's endless results, endless testimonials.
Right. Well, I get really excited about helping people take control of their life, and there's so much more we could learn from Susan that I asked her to create a special offer for everyone who's listening to this call, and I highly encourage you to go to Susan's special offer right now to experience it for yourself. Simply click on the special offer button that's on this page. Susan, can you let everybody know what they'll find there?
Okay, well, this is an amazing, amazing package that I have created for this teleseminar. And it's a package by which you can learn this method of prayer. This is downloadable, so what you're going to be getting is files. And included in this are, for example, the book, which is Miracle Prayer, How to Pray and Get Results. It's a cover award-winning 454-page book that teaches you how to create the 5-minute miracle in your own life. There's a Create Miracles report, which is a 1,500-word introduction to the method of scientific prayer. You're going to also be receiving Overcoming Karmic Law Through Grace, In other words, we talked about overcoming karmic law through the law of grace. Well, this is a whole 2.5-hour video file, MP4 files, or video files, in other words, that you can download. Then you've got Miracle Prayer, the Law of Attraction in Action, which is a 90-minute total video files, plus an 8-minute guided meditation. Then we got Expect Miracles Through Scientific Prayer, which is 6 hours of total video files in which you're going to learn the whole method that we're talking about here. This is a hands-on intensive 6-hour training that you'll learn how to use this practical 9-step method for practicing spiritual mind treatment to achieve your goals. And it's the 9 steps that we talked about: the request, the recognition, the rapport, the resolution, the renewal, the realization, the reward, the release, and the repose. And you'll actually take a class on how to do that. Then you'll also receive some insightful audio interviews about miracle prayer and how it works. And you'll receive a teleseminar, which is 2 hours and 13 minutes, which is an introduction to scientific prayer and spiritual healing. So what you're going to get in this package is you're going to actually learn how to do this whole thing, how to do the type of prayer that I demonstrated just before, and how you can use that method to get whatever results it is that you want in your life through intentional prayer. And this book, Miracle Prayer, How to Pray and Get Results, which will be a PDF file, you'll have that. So you'll be able to read the entire book and study it and learn not only the steps, but how to word each step, each part of that prayer, how you would word that for the most effective way to pray. I mean, a lot of people say, okay, pray, but they don't teach you how to pray. So Expect Miracles Through Scientific Prayer, how to fulfill your goals in 3 easy steps, which is conceive it, believe it, and achieve it. So you have the power to conceive wonderful things and events in your life, and it's just a matter of having confidence in yourself. So number 1 is to use your creativity to conceive it without putting limits on it. Be willing for the universe to surprise you, which the universe loves to do. Ask for what you want or something even better. And then number 2, rather than just believing it, know for certain without reservation that your creative self has the power to manifest that goal and erase all perceived doubt. And then number 3 is to achieve it by demonstrating the reality in your everyday life. That means welcome it, embrace it, and have confidence that it's now yours to enjoy and share. And, then, of course, make it happen. Obviously, action is the next step. You can't just pray for it. You actually have to make the phone calls. You have to get out there and do the work so that you manifest the thing that you want to achieve.
And what are some of the benefits that people can expect and experience starting right away or over time by applying your programs?
Well, I would say that the number 1 benefit is anytime you do an affirmative prayer or even a short affirmation, I mean, the 9-step method is a whole prayer, but even in the book Miracle Prayer that you're going to get in this package, there's one chapter that has 300 affirmations that you can just use right out of the box there. And also in this book, there's also 20 scientific prayer treatments that you could use right out of the box for praying for various things. And immediate results are immediate peace of mind, lifting, a feeling of greater self-confidence comes immediately. With my 20 scientific prayer treatments that are in this book, there's self-love, number 1, self-authority, another one, perfect divine order and timing, another one is inner peace, another one, spiritual enlightenment, one for perfect mate, to attract the perfect mate, one for harmonious home life, for perfect loving friendships, for perfect relationship with children, for perfect relationship with parents, for healing of relationships, for sexual fulfillment, freedom from codependent relationships, freedom from substance abuse and addiction, healing of a physical ailment, a perfect income, perfect employment, perfect abundance, perfect housing, perfect vehicle, that and so much more. You can learn. And those particular ones that I just mentioned, those are prayers you can just read right out of the book and use for yourself. So I'd say the immediate benefits are greater self-confidence, greater peace of mind, greater positivism, greater optimism, and then, of course, the benefits of actually manifesting these goals in your life. Powerful.
I love it. Susan, any final thoughts you'd like to share with everyone before we go?
Oh, okay. We're already on final thoughts. All right. So what I'd like to say is that every one of us is a mighty, powerful, divine spiritual being, and there are no limitations in our lives. We can create whatever it is that we want to achieve. And by using the tools of scientific prayer, affirmative prayer, and affirmation, you can change your life instantaneously. I mean, these really work instantaneously. So I would encourage everyone to look into this process and to start to use these very simple, easy, effortless methods for changing your life and creating the life that you envision, the life that you truly deserve, the life that you desire. And, of course, don't pray backwards. Pray forward, meaning first discover your true purpose and destiny. Use the little practice that I mentioned. Find out what your true purpose is and begin to manifest that in your life. Begin to live your true divine plan that is what you came on earth to do. And every one of us is worthy. Every one of us has a mission, has a purpose. Find out what that is and begin to manifest it. Do it today.
I love it. All right, folks, you've heard it. Click on the special offer button that's on this page. Thank you so much for sharing with us, Susan. I really appreciate you, and I look forward to our next call together.
Me too.
All right.